Michoacán, Mexico. A tornado developed late Tuesday night in western Michoacán. It resembled a funnel-shaped storm cloud. It descended to the ground and then quickly dissipated. Fortunately, no casualties or injuries were reported, but avocado growers in the region noted significant damage to their orchards. Authorities are now on high alert, closely monitoring weather conditions to provide timely warnings and ensure public safety in the face of potential similar incidents. Krasnodar Territory, Russia. In Krasnodar for the last day fell almost a month's norm of precipitation. By 6 a.m. the most intense precipitation was recorded in the Krymsky, Slavyansky, Koronovsky districts and Anapa. This is reported by the press service of the main department of the Ministry of Emergency Situations of Russia in the region. In the Slavyansk district, the water went into 6 private houses. In Anapa, 11 household territories were flooded, including 1 house in Koronovsky district. 8 adjacent territories were flooded. Water pumping equipment is working everywhere. Also, as reported in the press service of the agency, the wind increased in Anapa, Galenzik and Twaps district. Its speed reached 16 meters per second. 158 people and 86 units of equipment were involved in the liquidation of the consequences. The situation is under special control of the emergency agency. Residents and guests are asked to observe safety rules. Gulf of Mexico. There has been an oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico that has gotten into the water. According to local authorities, about 1 million gallons of oil leaked from the pipeline system off the southeast coast of the state of Louisiana. This is reported by the U.S. Coast Guard. The oil leak was discovered during high winds in the Gulf near the pipeline. Authorities have stopped the work of the site and are trying to determine the exact location of the accident and the cause of the leak. The U.S. Center for Biological Diversity notes the danger of man-made pollution to the environment of the Gulf of Mexico, which carries a threat to rare whales, dolphins and birds. Dominican Republic. Flooding in the Dominican Republic has killed 27 people, the Emergency Operations Center said. The heavy rains that hit the Republic last weekend were a record in the history of national observations. Up to 431 millimeters of precipitation fell in some areas. According to local authorities, more than 13,000 people were displaced from their homes across the Dominican Republic. The situation remains tense. Rescuers and government services continue to work to eliminate the consequences of the disaster. At the same time, in the northeastern Indian state of Sikkim in the Himalayas, 3 tourists were trapped in the flood zone. There are no casualties among them. They will be evacuated as soon as the weather conditions improve. Follow the news of our channel. Peter, Australia.
Okay, straight up and then turn right. Nice and slow.
A massive forest fire in the northern suburbs of the Australian city of Perth has completely burned down 10 houses. Many power lines were damaged, which led to power outages for hundreds of people. The fire had already destroyed 1,500 hectares of land by early afternoon. The state of Western Australia is currently experiencing an unusual heat wave for this time of year, with record-breaking temperatures, especially in the Perth area. Temperatures of up to 40 degrees were expected on Thursday. According to the Bureau of Meteorology, these values are 12 to 14 degrees above normal. The blaze engulfed the northern suburbs of the city in the state of Western Australia. Residents were evacuated and fortunately, there were no casualties. Firefighters are trying to contain the fire, but the situation remains difficult due to the weather conditions. More than 150 firefighters are involved in extinguishing the fire and an air tanker has been dispatched to the west coast for support.
Go!
Clear left, clear left.
Straight into there, mate.
In this grass area.
Okay.
Run a hose line out.
Run a hose.
Reading, England. Amalfi, Italy. Huge water tornadoes have swept off the coast of Italy. A giant water column formed during a thunderstorm and began to move at breakneck speed towards the coast. In a matter of seconds, the tornado overcame several hundred meters and, reaching the land, hit the rocks, immediately dissolving into thin air. Another water tornado was seen near the town of Ravello, but also dissipated without causing any damage. Nevertheless, both tornadoes managed to frighten local residents. Anapa, Russia. On the night of November 22, a monthly norm of precipitation, 34 millimeters, fell on Anapa. Streets and roads went underwater. Due to heavy downpour with hail, water does not have time to go away, accumulates in low-lying areas. Monitoring groups of the Civil Defense and Population Protection Department are working in the city and rural districts. Dozens of cars are parked in flooded parking lots, some floating on the roads. And school children have to go to classes in rubber boots, and some even go barefoot. Volga region, Russia. In many regions of the Volga region there was a heavy snowfall, which led to an increase in snow cover by 20 centimeters per day. Such a phenomenon is considered dangerous, as it can lead to difficulties in movement and damage infrastructure. Among the settlements affected by the snow were Petrovsk, Sangilii, Khvalynsk, Kanadii, and Novodevichy. In Penza, snow paralysis took residents by surprise. Nizhny Novgorod, Izhevsk, and Saransk also found themselves in the snow siege zone. Porto Alegre, Brazil. On the coast of Porto Alegre there was a serious flooding. The level of the Guaiba River reached the highest level in 82 years. According to the municipality's civil defense, the water level of the Guaiba in Porto Alegre reached 3.44 centimeters, the highest level since 1941, when a historic flood occurred that brought the water level to 4.75 centimeters. The Guaiba flood level in the DOC area is 3 meters. Video taken from an airplane shows the flooded Porto Pier from the old bridge towards the historic center and much of the flooded coastline. The flooding has left many residents without homes and possessions. Authorities are advising residents to stay on high ground and not put themselves in danger. Flood relief efforts are currently underway. Alaska. A steep, heavily forested mountainside collapsed in the wake of stormy weather and intense rainfall that hit southeast Alaska in recent days. Mud and tree debris collapsed on 3 homes and covered a 152-foot wide stretch of road. At least 3 people were killed in the landslide and 3 others are believed to be missing. An estimated 20 to 30 residents in the vicinity of the landslide were evacuated. Several other landslides hit Prince of Wales Island south of Wrangell, but no casualties were reported there. Chelyabinsk region. In the Chelyabinsk region, due to rain with wet snow on the roads, formed heavy icing. In the south of the region, temporarily suspended the movement of passenger buses. 154 units of road equipment are working to clean the pavement and treatment with anti-icing materials. Contractors attract additional forces and means. Movement of passenger buses is temporarily suspended. The traffic police of the region ask motorists to refuse long-distance trips until weather conditions improve. If the trip is unavoidable, it is necessary to exercise extreme caution, move at a reduced speed, maintain a safe distance and turn on external lighting devices, additionally using fog lights. Perm, Russia. Yellow snow has fallen in Perm. In social networks appeared photos and videos of yellow-gray snow. As users note, strange precipitation was seen in Perm itself, as well as in the Sivinsky and Krasnokamsky districts. The reason for such unusual precipitation is small particles of soil and sand brought from Central Asia, according to experts from the Ministry of Natural Resources. Seka's weather in the region captured small particles of soil when it moved over Central Asian areas, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. Together with air masses, they were carried to the Urals. And there, mixed with precipitation, formed a layer of snow of yellow color. This phenomenon is not unique. Sometimes sand transported by air masses creates literally Martian landscapes.
Он внутри-то белый, а сверху все желтое. Какой-то выброс, мне кажется, даже в воздухе есть какая-то дымка. Вот особенно хорошо видно. Видишь?
Kenya. Heavy floods in different parts of Kenya have caused the death of 71 people and forced more than 150,000 people to leave their homes. The rains started in the second half of October and are still continuing, affecting both coastal areas in the east of the country and areas in the southeast and north. The rains intensified in the second half of November, especially near the capital Nairobi, which is located in mountainous terrain. The coastal city of Mombasa suffered the most damage, with many neighborhoods flooded. Authorities have pledged up to 25 billion shillings to combat the effects of such climatic events. However, the chairperson of the Kenya Human Rights Commission, Rosalino Deed, says the government has not yet done enough to address the situation. Catalonia, Spain. A state of emergency has been declared in some areas of Catalonia due to severe drought. residents are urged to reduce water consumption. Last week in Catalonia, due to the lack of rainfall over the past 30 months in 24 municipalities, was declared a state of emergency due to drought. Water levels in reservoirs are low and water restrictions have been imposed due to the drought. Cracks have appeared in the region's dams, and experts believe that Catalonia has not seen the analogy of such a disaster since the 20s of the last century. Authorities have banned washing cars, watering gardens, and imposed restrictions on domestic water consumption. A drought emergency has also been declared in several localities. Antarctica. New research from scientists at the University of Otago, New Zealand, has found that the ozone hole over Antarctica continues to grow. Over the past 4 years, it has become remarkably huge, exceeding an area of 26 million square kilometers, almost twice the size of Antarctica. This raises serious concerns because the ozone layer protects our planet from ultraviolet radiation. Scientists first learned about the existence of the ozone hole in the 1980s, and in 1987 the Montreal Protocol, an international agreement to stop the production of chlorofluorocarbons that deplete the ozone layer, was adopted. However, data from a new study casts doubt on the effectiveness of that protocol. UN experts have made a prediction that the hole could be completely closed by 2040. However, the new data raise concerns. According to one version, the growth of the ozone hole may be promoted by the polar vortex. This type of atmospheric circulation in the stratosphere affects the ozone content. It is also possible that climate change is partially hindering the recovery of the ozone layer.